Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Um, I'm trying to go live on Instagram, but I've just put a crazy picture of myself up instead. So I'm here and I'm talking to you about reducing stress this morning. It's 10 a.m. chats. I'm Paula and it's Friday. I missed last Friday because I had a prenatal teacher training program that I was running, and I had all intentions of coming on and chatting to you live, but it was just busy. It's busy, and I didn't get a chance. So it's that time of year, right? Tomorrow's the 1st of December. And I know that with all of the best intentions in the world, most people end up having a little stress at this time of the year, whatever that might be. Sometimes it's down to just Christmas shopping, money, or hosting Christmas Day, or Christmas parties, or whatever it is. That in particular this time of the year, stress can start to run high. So good morning. So jump on and say hi. And any questions, anything that you have, pop them into the comments. But I'm going to go through a few techniques for reducing stress. So I just want to share a little story with you about how I got into the yoga practice was to reduce stress. And it's funny, I had no idea that it was going to take me on the road, on the path that it did, that I ended up here in this place. But back in, a very long time ago, in my, I was about 20, and I worked in the film industry. And some of you know that already, but a lot of you probably don't. So I was working as a costume design. And it was a very stressful career, very stressful path to choose. I didn't realize that when I was going into it, but very, very quickly became very stressed to a point where I couldn't get to sleep at night. I would come home and try to get to sleep, and I couldn't sleep. And when I did sleep, I was dreaming of work. We had very long days and short nights, so a few hours in bed where half of it or more was spent awake. And then when I was sleeping, I was dreaming of work, and I would wake up in the morning feeling exhausted, like as though I had never slept at all that night, and off we'd go again, another long day. And it was just a big cycle of continually feeling exhausted, not being able to sleep. And the truth is, I started to drink a lot. I was drinking wine every night to try and help me to go to sleep. I would think, well, if I have a drink, then it will help me relax and maybe I'll go to sleep. It was just a vicious cycle. And very quickly I could see that it was not the road that I wanted to take. And I looked around and I could see that everybody else in the industry were living the same life, and they were a lot older than I was. I was quite young at the time. And that's not what I wanted. I didn't want that for myself. So I had to find a way to reduce my stress. And I'm telling you this because I know what it's like to live in that constant state of stress, and it's not good. The body suffers because of it. Your health suffers. You feel constantly exhausted, and you feel like there's no way of getting off that wheel. So I'm here to tell you that there is a lot of things that you can do, and thankfully with time and practice, I've become much better at keeping my stress levels low. So it takes a lot more to stress me out now than it used to, which is good. I also completely changed my lifestyle. So let's talk about what you can do to reduce your stress levels. The biggest thing, the biggest thing that I find is just to sit with my breath. Okay, so if I find that my stress is rising, I need to find just a quiet spot. I'll go lock myself into the bathroom, walk away, find a place, and just sit with the breath. slow your breath, consciously slow your breath down. Take a few long breaths right down towards the belly and slow exhalations. Usually it doesn't take very long, like a few moments of sitting with your breath and the stress levels have dropped right down. So that's like, that's my go-to. If I find that I need to drop stress instantly, then that's what I do. And if you can, if you can walk away, if you can find a place to just be on your own, even if that means that you have to go into the bathroom and be on your own for a minute, then that's the best thing to do, in that moment. In terms of techniques then that I use on a regular basis is a visualization. So I literally lie, before I go to bed at night and work with visualizations of myself being calm and relaxed and content regardless of what's going on around. And I'll do that in combination with the breath. So it's nearly like a little mini relaxation session. For me, it works very well before I go to bed. I like to do it at nighttime because number one, it's kind of the only quiet time that I get. I'm 99.9% of the time woken by my kids. So morning times, like, it's very difficult to be up before the kids in the morning. But nighttime before I go to bed, that is when I get some quiet time and I can actually do that kind of a practice. So I literally sit or lie. Sometimes sitting is better for me because if I lie down, I might fall asleep, and which is a good thing because that used to be the case, that I just couldn't switch off and fall asleep like that. But just sit or lie with your breath and start to visualize yourself calm, relaxed, at ease, content in yourself, regardless of the surroundings. And that's a really helpful tool. And the more that you do it, the more that you retrain your brain. So you start to create new patterns in your mind. You let go of the stressors and start believing in yourself as being a calm person. Sometimes we tell ourselves the story that we're stressed. When we get into a stressed-like state and we start to tell ourselves that we're stressed, and then we repeat, we keep telling the same story over and over, which creates grooves in the mind, which trains your body and your mind to believe that you're stressed. And that just adds to the cycle. And that's definitely where I was back in my early 20s when I realized that that I needed to do something. I needed to get out of that cycle of being constantly stressed and lacking in sleep. So it's something that's definitely a really important technique to use, to introduce it as a daily practice, wherever that fits into your life. So it might be in the morning, might be somewhere in the middle of the day, or it might be before you go to bed at night. The good thing about doing it before you go to bed at night is that it will help you to sleep when you get into bed. And that's really important, because if we don't get a good night's sleep, then it's much harder to keep the stress levels down. So one, in the moment when you need to reduce your stress, work on the breath. But two, as a daily practice, start to introduce a short relaxation where you work on visualizing yourself calm, relaxed. And you can create a mantra. You can create a mantra. A mantra is like a positive affirmation, and that's set in the present tense. So you're talking to yourself as though it's real. I'm a calm and relaxed person. And you want it to be set in the positive. So you're not telling yourself I'm not stressed, because we're still using the word stressed, right? So you're talking about how calm and relaxed you are, how content you are, and you repeat those words to yourself, whatever it is that resonates with you, something that you can really bring up strongly in yourself. And you can introduce a mantra as well and visualize yourself, see yourself, tell yourself, breathe it into your body. And over time, that will significantly reduce your stress levels in general, because you'll just deal with life a little bit better than when you're not practicing. So there are two of my big things that I do to stay really connected and to reduce my stress levels significantly. The other thing that I do is that I really try to stay in the moment. So right now, I'm not letting myself get drawn off to whatever's going on in the future. So I'm like, if I'm not in a place to do Christmas shopping right now, and you have people coming at you telling you that they've all their Christmas shopping done, have you not started yet? Do you not think you should get started? I'm not getting into that conversation. I will do it. I know I have time scheduled out a little bit later in December where I will get organized for Christmas. And I'm not going to get drawn into that conversation. I'm not going to let my mind go into that place of thinking about what I need to do. Okay? Because at the moment, I'm working and I'm focusing on finishing up with my current teacher training group that are in, and this is their last weekend. Tomorrow and Sunday is their last weekend of all of us together, which is really exciting and kind of sad. I always feel a little bit sad when I say goodbye to a group, but I never say goodbye to my groups because I'm always in contact with my trainees, and you know, we have a lovely little family of yoga teachers, so it's really cool. They never leave me. And we have a Facebook support group, and they have me on speed dial whenever they want me. So, but it's a big step, right? I'm sending them off into the world tomorrow to go and teach yoga. So I'm focusing on that. And next weekend, I have my pregnancy training is finishing. That's their last weekend in pregnancy training. So I'll be focusing on that next weekend. And then after that, I can think about Christmas. And I have a big group coming for Christmas, which is really exciting. I don't even know how many people are coming, but my entire family, aunt and uncle, my sister's friend, you know, my husband's family. There's a lot of people coming for Christmas. And if I were to get drawn into that and think about, oh, but what about that? And what do I need to do? Then my stress would also rise. So I don't. I focus this weekend on my trainees that are qualifying this weekend. And then during the week, I'll focus next weekend on my next group and so on. So I just stay. And then once I'm finished, good morning, Eleanor. And then when I'm finished that, then I'll start to think about Christmas, because I'll take some downtime and we'll get organized for Christmas. And that's the way that I operate now. And it makes a massive difference to how I cope with things. You know, it just reduces my stress levels hugely. And when I find myself getting stressed, one, I check myself, I bring myself back into the present moment, and two, I start to work on my breath and stay very much grounded and just take a little bit of quiet time. And then I'm constantly working on visualization, positive affirmation, and my gratitude journal, which I'm writing in every single day, what I'm thankful for. Focusing on all of the positives and trying to build that as much as possible. And it's super helpful. I've come from being like seriously stressed, like not knowing how to get out of that cycle, to figuring it out, you know, and coming up with ways that will reduce my stress levels and keep them down and help me to sleep, to continuing on to being, I suppose, a more content person in my life in general. And that's not to say I don't get stressed. I do, but I know how to deal with it when it comes up. So it's really, really important. And, you know, like the physical practice, of course, helps. And I saw a huge difference, like a drastic change in myself when I started the physical practice, because I was introducing more than just the pranayama and the visualization. But just with the basics, that helped hugely. Then I got into the physical practice, and that increased how the levels of calmness. So whatever you can do will really, really help, just to keep you centered and grounded and reduce the stress levels as much as possible. Because ideally, you know, you want to enjoy the next few weeks, right? Like, you know, I think sometimes we have so many expectations of what the month of December should be like, and we put so much pressure on ourselves. But actually, what you really want to do is just be in the moment and enjoy the time with your family and your friends and the celebrations, and let go of the expectations. and let go of thinking into the future, because we don't know how things are going to go. So there's no point in getting drawn off in that direction. Just stay present, stay with your breath, and start working on some time in your day where you're doing your relaxation, your visualization, bringing up your mantras, and it will all help. So do let me know what's going on for you this month. I was on here last week talking about the shoebox appeal, and there's a lot of people getting involved with me in the shoebox appeal. So the shoebox appeal is helping the homeless. It's a group in the city centre or inner city, helping the homeless. And you can fill a shoebox with things that the people need when they're homeless, like hats, scarves, gloves, socks, like something nice like chocolate treat, hand warmers, thermal vests, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, anything that is useful. Filling a shoebox. And if you want to take part, you can drop it into the studio to me over the weekend or on Monday. I'm bringing them in on Tuesday morning. So I have a big stack of shoeboxes behind me, all wrapped, not all wrapped, some wrapped, some not, ready to go. You just mark it whether it's male or female for adults. And that's it. So it would be really cool if you could join us in doing that. It's really nice to give to people who are less fortunate than ourselves. Eleanor says, don't write your own movie, enjoy being in it. Yeah, sometimes we get caught up on what's going to come, don't we? It's like, what's happening, what's going to happen down, in the next few weeks, instead of actually just enjoying what's going on right now. So if you want to join the shoebox appeal, do. If you want more information on reducing your stress, contact me. Maybe I'll see you on the mat if you're coming into the studio. We have 2 more weeks of classes left before I finish for my Christmas holidays. So Monday and Tuesday, next week and the week after. And then that following Friday, I finish work. So that's all that I have to share today. But please feel free to comment, let me know how you're doing, ask for advice. If there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Next Friday, I'm on prenatal teacher training. So I will try and come live at 10 o'clock. I'm going to do my best. But when we're on teacher training, it's hard to know what way things are going to go, because we get caught up. We get caught up in the moment, and we work super hard. We're in from 7 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening, and it's all go. So but I will do my best to get on here live. If you want me to talk about anything on Friday mornings, 10 a.m., then give me a shout. Let me know. You can private message me. You can comment underneath. And I'm always happy to chat about anything that you are interested in. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you all soon.